budget challenges.
Thank
Peter.
From your discussions with the first row, my takeaway is that...
well said, sir.
My takeaway, and thank you, row one. My takeaway is that the President is open to signing a short-term raising of the debt limit, even if he does not get from Congress an accompanying clean CR. Is that correct?
I'll just try again. The President believes the answer is yes, but he's not paying a ransom for Congress to do its job, because the only people who get hurt are, the American people get hurt when the Republicans shut the government down. The American people get hurt when those who believe default is not a problem are listened to and followed.
Could we just take the yes?
Yeah.
We just need a definition.
The President of the United States stood before you at this podium and answered this question.
You're saying he won't negotiate. You're saying he'll sign a clean extension of the debt ceiling, but he's not going to negotiate on the other stuff until the shutdown's over.
The President will. Yes, the President will not pay a ransom for.
It's just pay a ransom as a metaphor.
We understand. Definition like they said.
You see it as a ransom, but it's a metaphor that doesn't serve our purposes of figuring out what's actually going on.
Well, you guys are just too literal, then, right?
We just want to accurately report
the closing of the American mind, and a failure to appreciate metaphor and simile.
I mean, we're trying to be accurate in our description of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to make sure we're not saying
Here's the problem.
You're
asking me a lot of questions based on a bill that does not exist and may never exist, and doesn't even reflect what the Speaker of the House and his colleagues discussed a couple of hours ago. So I think we ought to see whether they're serious about, putting the matches and the gasoline aside when it comes to threatening default. And if they're serious, we'll evaluate what they move forward on. What the President has been crystal clear about all along is that it is unacceptable to him that the Republican Party, driven by the Tea Party caucus, try to extract ideological objectives in exchange for opening the government and raising the debt ceiling.
So your position is that until then you'll continue to obfuscate, is that?
So the point is the framework can exist. See whether they're serious about putting the matches and the gasoline aside. Right. You've also said they want to keep a nuclear weapon in their back pocket. So is keeping a nuclear weapon in the back pocket the same as putting the matches and gasoline aside? Or even better, can we stop talking about matches and gasoline and nuclear weapons and start talking about what's actually happening?
Well, I wish we knew, and I think that there is nobody who has followed the machinations in the House Republican Conference for the last several weeks, and you might argue for the last several years, who has any clear picture about what they're going to do and when, and whether they're going to do the right thing by the American people, which is open the government and raise the debt ceiling.
Your statements. Do you see putting the gasoline and matches aside as consistent with keeping a nuclear weapon in your back pocket?
Okay, let me explain those metaphors, and I'll refrain from using them.